the appropriate gloves on, sand down the cabinet or whatever you're preparing with 120 grit sandpaper or a fine sanding block, and then wipe off the dust with a rag soaked in white spirit. The white spirit will affect your hands badly, so make sure you wear good quality gloves. My hands have been used to it over many decades, but yours probably aren't. Then wait for the white spirit to completely dry off. So to recap, get your brush well loaded with paint. Work 38mm or 50mm brush just to work it into the corners, all the corners, and then fill in the gaps using your roller with the glossy head, the smooth head, rather than the fluffy head. You can paint the inside of a cube, and all these corners you can paint anything. About half fill depth-wise your tray with your undercoat, and using your foam glossy undercoat roller, pull the paint from the tray, roll it up and down the roller tray, and then just roll it backwards and forwards across the bits you want to cover. Can't get much easier than that, can it? And we've put 2 coats of quick drying primer undercoat on here. We'll let that dry for say 4 hours. Often it will dry very much quicker inside in a centrally heated house, and then we'll be ready to put our top coat on. We've been given some free Farrow & Ball paint, which we haven't actually got the proper undercoat for, but we're going to put it on top of this. We're going to put 2 coats of that on, and it'll be a gloss finish and it'll be fine. But if you wanted to put satin wood on top of this, you could put 2 coats of satin wood on top of this primer undercoat, and it will hopefully look fantastic. The sides and top are very easy, so just get your paint, pull the paint from your tray onto that little bit there, roll it backwards and forwards until it's nice and not too bumpy, and then just go do it in a W fashion. Then you catch all the bits as if you painted a wall, and you should get a good coverage. And just finally finish it off so you've got no lines, so that all the shadows. It's rather too bright a sun today, but if I don't do it today, cabinets have got to go back tomorrow, so I need to finish them off. These are all nice and dry now, so we're going to repeat the process now with the Farrow & Ball gloss paint. And see what happens. Sorry about the shadowing, it's rather bright today, but anyway, as you can see, I've painted the gloss into the corners there, and now I'm going to use the roller to fill in all the spaces. Considering this is a white undercoat, it's covering pretty well. It's as simple as that. It's quite therapeutic, really. You can see in here because of the bright sunlight, but although it's had two coats of white undercoat on there, it looks a bit thin in patches, but don't worry about that. The gloss paint or satin or whatever you put on top will adhere perfectly well, and it will cover it up nicely. As you can see up there, considering that's the first top coat, that's gone on fine. To get the best colour match, always use the appropriate undercoat that's recommended to go with the top coat that you're using. In this case, we were given the paint for free, so we've just put it onto an ordinary white undercoat, but it seems to have covered fine. So those have now had their first coat of the Farrow & Ball French Grey gloss paint. Let that dry off, and when it's all nice and hard and dried off, then we will put a second coat of gloss on, as recommended by Farrow & Ball. These should be dry in about 2 hours and repaintable in about 4 hours.